If it ever gets, there we go.
There we go.
Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly. Along with the Chad, I'm Lyle, and we are going to have a great show tonight. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, bud. How
You
are
must
you?
be. I'm great. You're sitting outside, so
Oh, it's nice out tonight.
oh, dude, man, it's been some decent weather for a change.
Mhm.
2 days ago, we had water between my house and my neighbor to the west. You could have launched your boat out there in the runway that leads into a retention lake. It was so full of water, and then a couple of days later, it's beautiful and uh, mid to high 80s for a high instead of that big 90 stuff plus. And it's kind of cloudy and overcast, so it's not scorching hot. It's just really nice weather, and we're excited about that. Cindy and I plan on going to the water in the morning for a little while. We haven't been out in a while. Everything in the world seems to be happening, so we're going to give it a try. And if everything goes right, we'll get the boat wet anyhow.
I'm hoping you can.
I'm on me too. I've got a couple announcements here. The first one that I want to make is Patriot James is not here tonight, and the reason being is his wife Donna has some health issues, and she had a little operation today, or she was supposed to have had. And he sent me a message a while ago. He's sorry he couldn't make the show. Dude, you are doing 100% exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're there taking care of Donna. Wish James and Donna the very best. That's all the information that I'm going to let out when he tells everybody about it when he comes back, and he can say she had this done, that way. I don't screw it up and say something that I shouldn't. But any surgery you have is serious. So we want to keep your thoughts and prayers in mind for Donna and James, because if he gets out of line, she ain't going to feel like fooling with you. But not on that'll be the end of it. But she's a very special lady. We all found out when we had that couples tournament last year how nice a woman that she is. And it was a lot of fun with them. So we want her to get better, because you'll be doing another one of them one of these days.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit. I got
Yeah.
a couple other people that I want to say something about. Um, Cindy's brother Alan, or her nephew Alan, um, has got prostate cancer, and the boy's 35 years old, something like that. He's not very old, and we're kind of worried about him. He's going to go through some chemo and radiation and different things. I don't know a whole lot about that. We all know some, but he's just a young fella, and we're kind of worried about him. So, again, if you keep Alan in your thoughts and prayers, that would be awesome. I know Cindy would appreciate it, and I would too. Um, our buddy James Dockery. I worry about him every day. I know he's doing better. He finally got something to eat the other day, but he's tired. I worry about him, and we need to get James feeling better too. Um, let's see. Chrissy Brown was fishing a tournament the other day. You was in that tournament,
Yes.
and it started raining. The bank got slick. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't like bank fishing, because I can't walk and get around very good. And if I slip and fall when them banks and mud and sand and stuff get slick, I'm be in the same shape. But she broke, I think it was her ankle. Is
I
that right?
think so. I believe
Yeah.
that's what it was. Yeah.
And that's got to be really painful. Such a sweet lady. We got to meet her and Ernie up at Mendota, as you did, and very fine folks. We want to wish her the very best, and Ernie, take good care of that lady. She's an awesome person, and we want to get her to feeling better as quickly as we can. And you was telling me that Kelly Bullock had a death in his family.
Yeah, I believe his cousin passed away
Yeah, that's
unexpectedly. So,
that's too bad. I hope that everybody in that family gets to doing well. But keep all these folks in your thoughts and prayers.
you know,
Um, this is our family we have in the fishing world. So just think about them. I know they'll all appreciate it. And if you visit with them online or something, just give them a hey. I hope everything's going better, or say something to make that happen. Um, I do have results from the Master Bait and Tackle Catfish Tournament. Um,
I like that tournament.
yeah, you should fish it.
I should.
Yeah, First place, it was held, I think, July 1st. First place went to Mullet, 44.58 pounds. Second place, Redmond Cox and Cox, 36.78 pounds. Sylvester, and Sylvester, 31.35 pounds. Fourth place, Graves and White, 31.32 pounds. And Dobbs and Zion with fifth place, 20.39 pounds with big fish of 14.91. I think they had a great time. And they say their next tournament will be on Lake Monroe, July 31st, and it will be a dual meet with the ICA Club. This tournament will have a potential of 40-plus teams to fish that day. Huge payout. So if you're thinking about that, Chad, that might be a good one to
I'll have to look them up.
Yeah. I know the ICA's been in business doing stuff for a long time. So the Master Bait and Tackle guys, a couple 3 years, the best I remember, but they've been doing pretty good, and they're having great tournaments. So I think that'll work out really good. We got a bunch of people in chat tonight, looks like.
Won't you say hi to them beautiful people?
I'm gonna give it a stab here as soon as my chat settles down and see what we can come up with. I got Avid Fisherman fishing and stuff. My buddy right there. Got a new video come out. I haven't had a chance to watch it. It come on while we was getting ready for the show. The Weekend Angler, J-Dog Gone Fishing. Hey, Jason, Maurice Kaysen, Hooked Up. Mad Catter Catfishing. There's Betty Jean. Couple Crosses Fishing. Justin's Fishing Fetish. Brian B. Mr. Gadget. Lisa Vickery. Heath Stapleton. Tim Molina. Brian B. Palmetto, hey Kevin, Hooks and Hammocks, Chris and Telly, Parker Pursuits, Mad Catters. Like I said, then there's Mark with Catfish and Crappie. Had a marathon last night. Good show. Gained a lot of supporters there. That was awesome. Hooked on Fishing with D. Robert Sisson Outdoors, Real Gals Fish. Green Machine Outdoors, Southern Cross Outdoor Traditions, Terrador Arco. I think I got it right. Just a fishing fetish. There's my buddy David Martin. We're so glad to see him in here tonight. David's a super guy. David, we need to get you back on here. I'll talk to you about that here in a few days. Fins and Finds, Mr. Bob. I hope you're coming home soon. There's Ernie right there. Had to fix Chrissy a steak. Good for you. That's taking care of her.
Steak and taters. There you go.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to come up there. He can take care of me.
That's a fact, man. John Patrick Jr. Parker Pursuits. We said him. You see anybody I missed? Carolina Catfish. Mr. Rob Mack. I'm sure Brandon's in here. Betty is. I haven't seen him, but the chat was flying so fast there for a while that I may have missed him. I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know if you said Hooked Up. That's Finseeker TV, his new channel.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to take me a while to remember that, but welcome, Jeremy. Appreciate you coming in.
The Weekend Ditch Pickler.
Josh, the new dad.
Parker Chicken Pursuits.
Ain't that a fact? Oh, that's hilarious. While we're doing this, I want to mention next Monday night we're going to draw for the rod rack giveaway from Mad Catters Catfishing. Richard Ward made this beautiful rod rack. You can go to the main page of Catfish Weekly on our Facebook and see a picture of it. It's a beautiful thing. You just have to, we'll get together, and whoever the winner is, Brad Beck's ICA Tournament Trail will be around, has been around since 1999. Awesome. Nebraska Kayak Angler Club. Anyhow, we're going to give this rod rack away next Monday night. So be sure, if you're not signed up, you must be present or former military. And all you have to do is sign up with your name, what rank you are or was when you decided not to be part of the military, and get involved. It's pinned to the top of the page. We want veterans and military people to be involved with this. You are the most important people to a whole lot of us in the world. We want to do something nice for you. Richard made this beautiful thing. Man, it's gorgeous. I wished I had one for my own self. But get signed up for this. Somebody that's deserving needs to own it, and we want you to have it. There's LG Bass, Moonlight Fishing. I think I said Palmetto. That's Kevin. Maurice Kaysen. Man, is there a better guy to be in all of our chats than Maurice? He is awesome.
I like Maurice. He just don't like me no more.
He just picks on you a little bit. Patriot Catfishers of America. He says, "Hi, everyone. Thank you for your prayers and well wishes for Donna."
Absolutely, my friend.
Anytime. That's what we're all about, James, and you know that as well as anybody. Lisa Vickery, Green Machine Outdoors. There's Hooks and Hammocks. Michael Malott, I think he said Hooks and Hammocks. Carolina Catfish. What was that?
I ignored Hooks and Hammocks.
Okay. Jay Fox Hunter. Country Boy Catfishing. Fishing with the Squirrel. Creole, my old buddy. Nebraska Kayak Anglers Club. Fishing Finds. I think we've got a lot of this. If we missed you, I'm sorry, but we're liable to see you as we're going along and holler at you anyhow. There's Brian B. Catfishing. We try to get everybody, but sometimes the chat just rolls so fast we can't keep up with it. But we do want you to understand how important you all to us. We have 42 thumbs up. If you don't mind, if you like what we do in this show, please hit that thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, it would be awesome if you would go ahead and subscribe. All these things get us closer to the top of the page when there's a search done, and we need all the help with that we can get. Now, we talked before the show, Chad.
Yes, sir.
I tried to tell you everything that I wanted to get done before the show. Did I accomplish everything?
I think right now you are knocking that checklist off. You're 13 minutes in and you've done almost the entire show already.
We had a great deal when James called me and told me that Donna was having some health issues, and by all means, we want him to take care of her. That's the most important. This Absolutely. Show will always be here, and James will be a part of it as long as he wants to be. Paul Frick, welcome. But her health and his well-being is the most important thing. Chad, don't forget there was a milestone reached during the tournament on Saturday. Rob Mokeek caught his first chicken fish. Oh, that made my day.
And screenshots and video. There's all kinds of proof about it too. I don't think I've seen Mo Creek in any chats or making Facebook posts since that happened.
I'd never say a word about that. I'm afraid
It was perfect.
He's probably still mad because he hadn't spent enough money on jig tie and stuff this month.
He's keeping some people in business, that's for sure.
He is. Mr. Rob Mack, welcome. But anyhow, when we found out that James was having to take care of Donna, which is exactly what he's supposed to be, I thought that having you on here with all these online tournaments that we have going on right now, this started out the new way that we're doing these online tournaments. They've been doing online tournaments for a long time, but you come up with this way, and people forget where these ideas come from. But this was your idea and a great way to do them. And I still think that this has the potential of being something big down the road. It's not yet, but all great ideas take a little time for them to mature and get all the bugs worked out of them. But this online tournament stuff that you're doing is really a cool deal. And I thought maybe we'd get on here and talk about how these are done and what you think will be the next step to making them bigger, better, and things like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, it did spark with it. What we do almost every show is some trash talk.
That's right. It's like the one on the screen right there. Dieter
Right there.
Welcome, Dieter.
But it stemmed from some heckling and stuff back and forth between, live show chats and Facebook Messenger chats and stuff like that.
That's right.
And that's where the whole thing started, right? So, what more fun can you have to get some friends online fishing against each other? That was kind of what the premise was to the first couple showdown. Is people like Betty and Brandon Cross versus me and Dee versus Roger and Janice, you and Cindy, Dockery and Katie, Patriot James Smith, Donna, and Patriot Patty.
That was way fun.
I wasn't judging that he had to have 3 people on the boat with him, but it was fun amongst us all, and it kind of it built, and you really didn't see another tournament really, but you could see that the wheels were turning all over the place, and then you had the one-on-one started.
Yep.
With Catfish and Crappie.
And Mark's got a good idea with that too. And we need to get together. Of course, one of us has been sick, mostly me, all year. And we had some boat problems, which was mostly my fault. But regardless, we kind of got everything back, hopefully where it's lined out and we're ready to go. And we're going to do a one-on-one. And we talked about doing that with Dieter. He's going to take them touched fish out there that are touched in the head that he catches all them chicken on.
They got salmonella.
Yeah, and I'm going to use real bait, and I'm going to fish my water out here, and we'll have a one-on-one with Dieter. We've talked about this since the wintertime, but I do believe that his fish are touched a little bit, or they got hit by a bolt of lightning or something, because
there's something going on out there.
And maybe it was Dieter that got it. Who knows? But we need to get with Mark and get that lined up.
That'd be awesome.
That would be ATKO Fishing. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but welcome to Catfish Weekly. Roy Sisson, welcome. Robert Sisson, I'm sorry. Moonlight Fishing. But, we need to get that set up and have fun. Dieter and I have known each other, and we've been kind of razzing each other back and forth. Oh, my God, I can't tell you how. Back in the days when it was Catfish 1 and we was both on there for, I got kicked off so many times. But I'm pretty sure he did too. I don't know for sure. But, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Win, lose, draw, it don't matter. Dieter and I will have a good time, and we want to make it enjoyable for everyone else. And I think Mark hosting that would be a great job. Tim Molina. He touched him, but not in the head. Oh, no.
Yeah, I should have known something would have went that way. Leave it to my buddy Tim.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, that was something there. I kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. But sometimes we get a little out of line here. But back to what we said.
Go ahead.
Back to where we was talking about your online tournament ideas. I really do think that this has a future in the sport, because the COVID thing made it so prominent that you didn't have to be right next to somebody, or there wasn't a crowd at a weigh-in or something like that. So tell us about your next ideas coming up. Thank you, Southern Cross Outdoors. Thank you so much. Your next idea of what's coming up and how we're going to do some of these things.
Well, I have put out the dates for the second couple showdown. That and the Winter Blues will be happening again. Couple showdown is in October. The Winter's Blues, I'm not going to do it in February this coming year. I will do it in hopefully early January, where it's cool, but it's not 0 degrees, so I don't have to hear Rob cry that the chicken's freezing to his hand or anything like that, But I have a couple other ideas. Two that I'm in the works. I had somebody bring me an idea this weekend that I thought was a phenomenal idea. So I'm not going to spill the beans just yet. We have some things to iron out and with all the rules and stuff, but I think people will have a lot of fun with it. And the other one is I just can't figure out dates. That's going to be the other problem you're going to start seeing is you're seeing a lot of tournaments coming up now online is trying to find dates that work not only for you, but for everybody else. That way you have a decent crowd, you have decent participation and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, just keep my camera there. There's a lot of, that's one thing I really love about this is whatever you can visualize in your head, there are so many different ways to do the online tournaments now.
Yes.
There's the kayak guys, Ryan and Kayak Mike, and they have a different version of online, but it's not broadcasted via YouTube, right?
Right.
You have Roger, you have Palmetto, you have 3+1. The Weekend Angler just put one on. There's multiple people that are getting their feet wet in it, and it's trying to find out what works and how do we make it bigger and better every time. So, like I said, there's tons of different ways that we can do these online tournaments.
There is.
Just figure it out how to have fun with it, right?
Yeah, and I think once that these are run for a little while, you'll get the bugs worked out of what works and what don't work, and everybody will eliminate the stuff that don't work. And everybody that's doing them kind of needs to do a standard procedure of how they are run. It will make it so much better if everybody uses the same playing field to do these, and then at the end of the day, it'll make it better. There won't be as many arguments and things like that. But at this point, we're not seeing any of that. And that, again, makes it extremely attractive to me. We don't have people in there trying to organize something that don't know anything about fishing and tell you how to do it and send them money and all this stuff. There's no money. At this point, now I look for there to be at some point, but at this point, there's no money.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's for fun.
Right. Now, Josh gave away a bunch of prizes.
It does. He did.
And that was awesome, but there wasn't any. So, and you could do it that way. If you wanted to put out entry fees, people could send in entry fees, and you could take that or sponsorship stuff and have prizes and money and things like that. But at this point, I think getting it off the ground is being done the correct way, in my opinion, because it's about me calling Dockery up and say, hey, you didn't catch no fish over the weekend, and I did. Man, there ain't a better feeling in the world than to do that.
I know. I've still got Brian B messaging in every chat that he sees me in that he whooped my tail last Friday night when Dee and I got skunked. Yeah, yep. I brought Dee into this. She was with me. So
there's Dan Brower and Catfish Kyle. Welcome, you guys. Alicia Barnett, Epic, Roger, Twisted Fishing TV. Hey Frank, how you doing? Jason Lamb. Sorry, Chad.
No, you're fine. I'm getting bit on my leg.
Well, if it's got to be one of us, it might as well be you.
Well, if they were biting at the same height, they'd be biting you on your shoulder.
Fishing chick. Oh, man. But, yeah, I see this really growing. I really do.
I do, too.
I think that's a good thing. I think it's good for the sport. I think there's a lot of people that don't want to play the high dollar game.
Yeah.
The majority of people, these tournament entry fees got out of hand. The average guy can't fish them when they're $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000. They just can't. It's the most stupid thing I ever seen. If you want bigger payouts, don't make the entrants pay it. Get it from sponsorship and use that money instead of putting it in your pocket like they're doing. Put it in the payout for the people that's actually doing the work to make this happen. But hey, what do I know? I only run them for 10 or 12 years.
There's tons, of local clubs around here, and I've fished just in about all of them in the last 2 years.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. It's thrilling, and exciting. And that's one thing that these tournaments won't have, in my opinion. I would strongly encourage nobody to hold these fish that we're doing online in live wells all day, is you miss the big weigh-in that everybody gets excited about.
That's right.
Besides that, what else? What you actually get to see everybody fishing
all the time.
The whole tournament, right?
Yep. Right.
And actually getting to see what they actually go through. Just like if I was going out and fishing a club tournament or one of the big national trails or anything like that, they would get to see everything I do throughout that day.
That's right.
During an actual tournament, other than holding those fish in a live well.
Yep. Now, I do a lot of times, if we catch a big fish, I'll put it in the live well, let it settle down, regain some of its composure, maybe put some oxygen on it before we release it. But that's a choice, and they all don't get stressed out. But a lot of times they do, and it's a good place just to let them rest and catch their wind. That's an option for people to do. Ryan Bortz, welcome to chat. Yeah. But that's something that people have to figure out and do. So I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that it has a potential of passing and up what we now know as tournaments in the industry. That's just me. But I really do think it has a shot at it. And I'd be happy if that happened because some of the stuff that's happening in the tournament world right now, I'm not very proud to be a part of any of that. It's just, like I say, people running organizations that has no clue what they're doing. They shouldn't even have a part of it, and they're over top of everything. People that don't even fish. But that's not all of it. These huge entry fees. I understand people want bigger payouts. But if you want the real tournament guys, the ones that make these tournaments like you do 2 or 3 times a month, the average guy can't afford $500 or $1,000 of entry fee. And the average guy can't get the big sponsors that'll help them get it.
Right. So, talking about that.
Yeah.
You talk about the local clubs here. A lot of them, they were always, $60 a piece.
Yep.
Well, if you fish one every weekend, and some of them went up and they're $100 a piece this year.
Yeah.
So, $60 a piece, not everybody can afford, $200 and almost $50 a month basically to
That's right.
fish in a tournament on top of all your gear and maintaining gas and boats and, whatever else it takes to do it. A lot of people just don't have it anymore,
Ryan Bortz says the average guy can if he wins, but Ryan, but you better win at least one a month just to break even because the payouts aren't really, they don't match the entry fees a lot of the times. So, David Martin says it's way better to fish for the fish. Way better. I agree, David. That's a very true statement. Frank says, I like the tight-knit community. I'm not interested in the huge tournaments and clubs. If I wanted that, I'd be a bass fisherman. Wise man Frank is. Fish harder. That's so true. Thank you, Dee and Mark, for passing out all of these people's links to their channels. We appreciate that so much. Means the world to us that you guys take time to do that. And there's Paula Smith in here. Jason Hiroshi. I'm glad to see Jason join us. Dan Breyer says he likes to take the kids. And a long time ago, because my baby's almost 40 now, I fished tournaments with my kids because, in my opinion, tournaments should be 2 people in a boat.
I agree.
3 people. That the reason that was done is because gas was $5 a gallon and cut the costs for some of us. I was the first one in Central Missouri to do that because we was losing boats, and if you split it up with the third person, and it took over, and that's wrong. It just is wrong. 2 people in a tournament in a boat is plenty in a tournament. You're just every other boat. You're costing yourself an entry fee with 3 people in a boat where they could have had another entry. So that's you wonder why your entries, your pay outs aren't high, is because you're losing boats. You're just cutting yourself out of them. And now they're cutting these down to 100 or 150 boat entries. Why the hell would you do that? If you can get 500 entries, get 500 entries. You want to pay out more? There's your more to pay out. They're just not using their head. But, I'm not having anything to do with that, so it doesn't really matter. Just stating my facts. But, I just want to voice my opinion, just like everybody. And I think it's wrong to do these the way they're doing it. But I'm not doing them anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like I said, there's things like we talked about we need to work out, and I've noticed some standard stuff already happening after the first ones, because I think several of the people that I'm getting feedback there, Lyle.
I don't know how you're getting it.
It's all your fault.
I'm sure it is. It sounds like Cindy.
But we have set some standard rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you've noticed about they have to be caught live. If you lose cell phone service, it doesn't count, right?
And as tough as that is, I think that's a great rule.
It is, and it's tough, especially when you might not realize that you have service, or don't have service, and
right.
Putting specific rod limits, because I am gonna Kentucky's unlimited versus say Ohio has, they can only have 3 if they're on the Ohio, or Erie, and they can only have 2 if they're up on a lake. And
right.
trying to keep it somewhat fair with that kind of stuff. But you can definitely see that kind of base rule is starting to take effect across the board. Whether you do numbers or weights or length or anything like that, it depends on the tournament and who's running it and what they feel is best. I don't think there's any right, wrong, or any way to do it. But you see people like the kayak guys, there's standard boards that you can have this one, or this one, and that's it. No other board counts.
For measuring, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that all tournaments that have to measure fish should come up and say, "Hey, this is the one we're going to use."
I think I agree a lot with that. But I think you'll start seeing that too if you start getting more into the weight tournaments and stuff versus just the numbers. Because the ones that I've been doing, it's more nobody's winning anything, right? Everybody that has done either of my tournaments knew going in that it was a charity tournament. We were raising money.
Right.
If we raised $1 or we raised $1,000, that money was going towards the charity of the winners and stuff like that. They would get to donate. Nobody kept it a dime.
Right.
Nobody made any money off of it. It was all for fun, and that's why I want to keep it, because we're all competitive, right? Yep. So why not try to keep it as fun? Do a little trash talk and have fun with it.
That's right. I remember back when we was doing benefit tournaments, and somebody would win, and they donate their winnings to whatever the cause was.
Yes.
We've done that in competitive shooting that I used to do. We've done that in tournaments, and I think that's and then you don't have to, but if you're doing it for juvenile diabetes, like Robbie is coming up with a tournament for that, I think that's outstanding. If I happen to do any good in something like that, why not just donate the money back?
Right.
Let them have it, because chances are they're not going to get that much out of it running a small tournament anyhow. So you might as well give them what you want.
And that's one thing I wanted to keep, with mine, is that fun part of it.
Yeah.
And not you and me getting upset at each other because, of a few dollars, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Now,
I just think that kind of thing is going to help progress this further.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do too.
And we'll see what happens with the money stuff down the road.
Yeah, and you got plenty of time for that, Chad.
Oh yeah.
Plenty of time.
And that's the thing. A lot of us that are doing these, we need to grow our channels anyways to try to be able to get any kind of real income into that kind of stuff, and then that would help pay for our stuff once we get the subscribers and the monetization.
That's right.
Everything else, everything that we have going on is all through the kindness and generosity of somebody donating rods or reels or hooks or whatever, or donating a few dollars to be able to give to these charities, right?
Yeah. So, and a lot of guys are just as happy to win a pack of hooks as they are anything else.
Yeah. You know
how them out, see if they like them. Yeah, absolutely. Fins and fines. I'm definitely open to suggestions on how to make my tournament best for everyone. I did not know Fins and Fines was planning on doing a tournament. I make sure, Bob, pardon me, that you get me that information because I didn't know anything about it. All these links that's being tossed up there by Mark and Dee and whoever else is doing it, thank you guys for doing that. But you guys need to go check all these links out and subscribe to these people. And by the way, if you like what we do on Catfish Weekly, please hit that like button at the bottom down there. Go ahead and subscribe to us if you like these shows, because that's what gets us closer to the top of the pages when people do searches. And we need subscribers so we can keep maintaining what we're doing and have these great guests on like that. Catfish Kyle, never fished a tournament, but have been tempted with the online trend. And that's what I'm saying. This is really attractive to a lot of people.
Yes, and Catfish Kyle here. So here's the other thing, right? And I'm not familiar with your channel. If you even have a video, is you don't have to be a YouTuber to do these online tournaments. All you have to have is access to a phone that has cell phone service, and whoever's running these tournaments will tell you how to do get in touch with or to go to StreamYard and get it set up.
Right.
And all it is they send you a link and you go live at the time they tell you and you go fishing.
That's right. Fishing Chick. It's hard when there's no internet or cell service at the lake. Fishing Chick, I promise you, I feel your pain. Lake of the Ozarks, Truman, Palm de Terre, all these lakes around me are kind of in a hole. And Lake of the Ozarks, huge. 120 some miles long. It's a huge lake, and you'll have great internet service, and in 2 minutes you're in a spot where there's none because of the hills and stuff around you. That's the Ozark Mountains. They call them mountains. They're really not. If you've ever been out to the big mountains out west, nothing compares to that. The Rockies got the mountain part handled, but they're just enough that they stop cell service from one tower to the next. So I do feel your pain, and it's tough to do these sometimes when you have to go in and fish areas that have cell service, but it'll make a better fisherman out of you, I promise.
Yeah, and that's what we learned that very, very quick on the very first couple showdown, how important cell phone service was in knowing where you're going to fish.
Yep, I agree.
My favorite stretch of the river on the Ohio, I cannot fish. It drives me insane. Because the whole stretch before it, I have service. It hooks, does a little turn, and that whole stretch that I just love to fish is zero cell phone service. And it turns back around like this, and all of a sudden you got cell phone service again.
Oh, wow.
It drives me insane. But what are you going to do,
Yeah, that's just part of it. Hooks and Hammocks is a new member to our group. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. Yep, it means the world to us. And if anybody else would like to join, we have some perks if you join. You just hit that join button and you can find out all about that. We'd love to have you as part of it. I see that Christina is now in here in chat, and we're glad to have her, new mom. And Chrissy Brown, glad to see you in chat, Chrissy. We hope you're feeling better. We was talking about you a while ago, but I promise you it was all good. You're such a sweet lady. I hope that you get to feeling better really soon. See where we're at now. Hey, there's Kim Burnett. You talk about a jig tire and a fly tire. He is such a wealth of knowledge. We had him on Panfish Nation last week. He's a great guest. We're gonna get him on there on a Saturday night. He's agreed to come in, Chad, and tie some jigs with us. You talk about fun. We will have a blast when he comes in on a Thursday night and ties with us.
Well, I heard you ask if my question to him if he could be my mentor. And,
he would be as good as you're going to get. I promise you.
Whatever he does, he cannot be Mo Creek's mentor. So.
No, absolutely not. Because he'd just spend more money. His wife kill him.
Yes, true.
The YouTube tournaments are great. I love the immediate release aspect. That's correct, Frank. You don't unless they're stressed out and you throw them in a live well to recoup a little bit, they go right back. And I think that's a really cool way to do that. There's Mike Chavez. Glad to have him always. The only problem with Mike Chavez is every time I watch one of his videos, day or night, I got to go clean the refrigerator out when I'm done because I'm hungry. Roger says the support for the kids tournament was amazing.
Yes.
Another online tournament that was done really well. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see what this says. Chad is a Teflon ginger. He takes a lot of bullets and nothing upsets him. Tim Molina, that's very true. Very true.
I'm always smiling, Tim.
Oh man, I'm way behind.
To be upset too much.
Yeah, take down catfishing with Kenneth Powell. Welcome, sir. Parker Evan, want to be outdoors. Hey, Matt, how are you? I hope that's right, Frank. If you keep watching Catfish Weekly, someday you'll be famous. I'll tell you what, Frank, you need to contact me. I don't believe you've ever been on Catfish Weekly. I think it's about time.
So, Realville?
Trying to get caught up. I'm so far behind, so.
I haven't sent the mosquitoes after me, and them and the flies are eating my legs off out here in the side yard.
Did you ever spray anything on them?
Nah.
Yeah. Do you have problems with the flies in your boat when you're fishing, biting your legs?
Every once in a great while. It's weird because you'll be out there and it'll be 4 or 5 hours of nothing, no bugs bothering you, and then all of a sudden it's like a swarm finds you in the middle of in the middle of the river, 200 yards from the bank. It's like, why did that fly all the way out here just to get me?
That's right. Cindy has a terrible trouble. It doesn't matter if we're parked in the middle of the river or the lake, or if we're next to a bank somewhere. Then black flies eat her legs up.
That's what they got out here tonight.
Candy Crush. What the hell? That ain't got nothing to do with fishing. Nebraska Kayak Anglers Club says advice on getting people involved. What do you got for them, Chad?
Well, so for getting people involved, one, all these beautiful, awesome people that have been sharing links tonight, get part of all of the community. See who's out there. Go, if you have Facebook, support their Facebook pages. A lot of their tournament information they put out there on that, right?
Right.
Again, you do not have to be a YouTuber to be involved in these tournaments. You have to be able to stream and be somewhere that you're going to be, that you can fish, right? That's the biggest thing. It is helpful, and this is somewhat hard to overcome for some, but not everybody, is you have to be able to have conversations with the folks in chat too, right? It's no different than if you see these guys that go out there and they fish on a bank or from the boat by themselves, and they do a live stream. They're constantly trying to communicate with the viewers, right? So that's part of that interaction that I would definitely say, if you have a group of 6, 8, 10 people on a screen, you don't have to sit and talk the whole time, but be a part of it, right?
Right.
Let the people know what you're doing and who you are, that kind of thing. And one of the other bigger things too is making sure, and I'm guilty of trying to figure this out myself for my boat, especially on Saturday when I threw my homemade camera stand off of the boat. Weekend disc sticker. I like that.
Do you? Me too.
Yeah. But making sure that the crowd can see your fishing, your fishing poles and stuff like that. That's all. Those are some of the sharpest geek out I've seen. I love them.
Katie did a really good job with those.
We got to meet Katie down at Land Between the Lakes when we were down there with hooks and hammocks, and she gave D some stickers.
Cool.
Not me, but D. That's cool.
That's how that works out.
I don't have one of them either. I'm like stickerless. What the heck? I need one of them that, put in my shed to keep the rats out of it. But yeah, just making sure that people can see and hear and all that kind of stuff. It's all important, but all you have to do is really want to be a part of it.
That's right. Contact, just be online, and when they start talking about that, get in the chat or send somebody a message and make it happen.
Yeah. And I think one of the last things I will say to that, and obviously life happens, you could tell with, especially we'll throughout the winter blues. For some reason, things got busy. I planned on having it in January, and I moved it to February just because of time. And at that time, the storms, the snowstorms, the ice, all that kind of stuff. Poor Stan, he slipped and fell and hurt himself that day. Rob and all the stuff that and some people, there was severe storms that they just couldn't be on the water. Things are going to happen.
Yeah, they are going to happen. We need to get that fixed up and worked around because we're getting the material part of our enclosure is going to be done this winter. And needs to be worked around to where they're not doing that when that tournament comes up. You know what I mean? Just thought I'd mention that.
Okay, well, I'll keep note of that.
Jason DeRoche, it's been a while since I had Brad on here. Several years. We had him on a long time ago, but he's a great guest, and that might be somebody we need to talk to. There's Mike Greenwell.
Bumping Mike.
Want to be a part of the couples challenge, but the wife don't fish, and no way in heck she's going to get on a live stream. There's a lot of women like that, and guys too. I've asked a lot of people to be on our show over the years. Sometimes they just don't have the internet connection or the phone service to do a live show, and I got that. Some of them, they don't want to be on a camera, and others just ain't going to do a show, period.
Right.
And I'm good with that. That works. But there's a lot of quality people that would make great shows if they would. But this internet service part is getting better all the time. In fact, it's getting better every day. I believe that in my heart. Kevin says, Chad, when is the Bluegill Challenge?
Oh, he keeps getting me on this one. So
dude.
I have to figure out time because I've had so many ideas for ones, and that's one reason I didn't put catfishing in my name is I do other kinds of fishing too, and I didn't want to be limited. But a panfish challenge or a bluegill challenge is something that is very high on my list that I'm trying to want to do. I just have to sit down and say, this is what I'm doing it. These are the rules, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I think that one would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Jason says he's very nervous on camera. Jason had a heck of a day the other day. If I was catching that many fish, I'd forget about how nervous I was.
That's all right.
I'm pretty shy too. I'm not real outgoing or
yeah, I've noticed.
So it bothers me being on camera.
Me too.
Something about Betty will win. I'm not sure. Oh, in a bluegill tournament, if she goes over there to where's her aunt's out in Virginia or wherever she goes, she's got a good shot at it, dude.
Oh yeah,
man, she catch some giants out there. Oh, Justin's going to be in you again. Stole your idea.
I could show you my list of ideas, Justin, and I guarantee you would say I didn't steal anything from anybody. I had quite a list going. I just, like I said, when you work full time and you try to get out and fish, you're trying to be, I'm trying to partake in other people and be with my family and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just very difficult to find time to put these things together.
It is. And that's where you got to step up and say, okay, boys, some of you guys are going to have to help me do this. You want it to happen. We're going to have a couple more people work with me to get this done and delegate some of the stuff to do and find people that'll help you and get them to do it. People need to understand also that all this work that you and others who put on these tournaments are basically doing it for free. Yeah. I mean, you're not making no money off of this. And there might be somebody out there that actually is, but I don't know it.
My wife would, I mean, if she knows how much I spend on fishing equipment, if she actually calculated how much money I've spent just because I started a YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. But luckily, she
don't tell her how much you spend on jig tying and stuff.
Shut up, Lyle. I mean, but and Keith from Fishing and Stuff was saying something about he's got 100,000 subscribers. He still has a full-time job. Yeah, all that kind of stuff, right? But the money that he has paid in for editing software, cameras, mics, all this,
just tons
of money that people are putting into this kind of stuff.
Here's an example of that. And people don't realize it because I never say anything about it. If I want something, I just try to save up till I get it. Yeah. I've got 5 editing programs before I found one online that was cheaper and done a better job. And it wasn't that it done a better job. It was just easier for me because they explained how to use it to where I could understand it. So,
yeah, I'm not tech savvy like that either, Lyle. So
I'm really not. And at my age, I'm going to be. I just can't get. A lot of these guys that's doing this now grew up. I was trying to see something. I don't see it now. A lot of these guys grew up when they had computers in school and they learned the stuff as they went, like the kids are doing now. They're amazing what these kids can do on computers.
Oh yeah.
Everything that I learned, either somebody showed me how to do it or I learned it myself. And the stuff I learned myself, I may not be doing it right, but at some point you just got to go for it. But I've had some really good people over the years. There's Lucer Harlow. Hey, how you doing? Real Bill, where'd that go? Real Bill Catfishing. Thanks for joining us. But I've had some good people over the years that's helped me with a lot of the technical stuff. Kevin said it's fun, but it builds channels, and it does. And building channels, we all need to help each other do that.
We do.
Everybody would go up and sign up to these channels and subscribe to them. The thing is, you need to make a post down in the comments so that YouTube knows that you are serious about being a part of this guy's channel. Or we appreciate it. I know you do, Chad.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to do more than go in there and click the button.
Yeah,
you have to give them a few minutes of your time.
Yep.
Check them out a little bit. Leave a comment, or in Kevin's case where they just deleted his comment yesterday on my post. Make 2 comments.
Sunfish Assassin, glad to have you in here. If you're listening and watching Stevie Ray Vaughan, it's okay that you're late. It really is. I used to work with a guy that played Stevie Ray Vaughan all the time, and at the time I only listened to country music. And after we wasn't working together anymore, I got to listening to him play that guitar on YouTube videos. And I sent him a message one night. I said, "Man, you have done me a great justice telling me about Stevie Ray Vaughan." And I watched everything that's on YouTube about him numbers of times. And now that I've seen that post, I'll probably watch some of them tonight. I'm a huge fan. He's a great guy, or was.
I like it. So yeah, I think, Lyle, like you're saying, we definitely need to keep advertising each other, working to build each other up. A lot of people are really good at that, but we need the fan base to really help with that too.
We do.
The creators themselves can only do so much, and I'm not talking about putting videos out or anything like that. I'm talking about as far as sharing. Yep. You would be amazed at when people are live or anything like that. Sharing it out to things other than just the catfishing sites that everybody already knows about. Sharing it to your personal page where you might have some friends and relatives that really enjoy fishing and stuff like that, right?
That's right.
I think we need to do a lot better with that, and I'm guilty of it.
Guy down the street, you've got to have somebody around you that either wants to go fishing or wants somebody to fish with.
Yeah,
help them out. Introduce them to these channels. If they have a computer and they're not listening and watching some of these deals, they need to.
And I'm not sure if he's watching tonight. And this is my last thing I'll throw about that. His name is Ryan. I met him down at the bank the one time that Dee and I had went fishing. I met him down there, told him who I was, and I didn't hear from the guy for a while. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, Chad, I met you down at the bank that day fishing, blah, blah, blah." And we exchanged numbers, and we talk every couple of days, and he's asking me for advice and, and this and that. And we're trying to plan on going fishing together sometime and stuff like that. And then now he's also a part of everybody else's community.
That's awesome.
He's in your show. He's in Rogers and Kevin's and all these guys. I see him in there commenting. And that's what we need. I mean, that one person might be turned into 2 or 3 or whatever. We just need to keep trying.
You have a friend that I see in a lot of channels that I didn't used to see, and is Bill.
You would be surprised because Bill Pawnshot, my friend, is actually how I found you, Lyle.
He never was. You never seen his name in the chats or anything. And Bill, when you started talking about Bill, pretty soon I see him in a lot of stuff. And I've never met him, but from what I know of him being in chat, he must be a hell of a good guy.
He is. He is ex-military. Hopefully, if you are listening, Bill, and you have not, that you went to Catfish Weekly's post, because I want to get that last thing out here too, because I'd love to see you win that thing. I've seen it firsthand. That thing from Matt Cutter, Richard Ward is beautiful. I told you about it. Hopefully you did it. But Bill, he's ex-military. He likes to just sit and watch. He's one of those that he sits and listens and watches and learns. And every once in a while, especially since he sees me more often in there, he likes to, make fun of me every once in a while or say hi to me. But It's good to see that he actually participates here and there. So it's pretty nice.
We're running into where we only got a couple of minutes because our buddy Mark has got a show coming up with Jeremy, a great guest he's going to have. They're going to have a wonderful show. Tell us how people can find your show, Chad, and get in touch with you if they need information about some of these tournaments or just have questions.
Yeah. You can go to my YouTube, Fishing with the Chad. It's fishing with no G. The is spelled THA, so it's the Chad. So Fishing with the Chad. You can look me up on there. My links are in the description for my Facebook pages. You can message me through Facebook. I don't really give out my email too much because I still, to this day, have not really set up one for Fishing with the Chad. But one of these days I might get around to that.
It'll be all right.
I'm going to need an ensemble to help me out with this stuff, Lyle.
Absolutely. Here, D helps you out.
So click on that link. Yeah, if you want to go to the Fishing with the Chad, I mainly use that one for posting about the tournaments and stuff like that. If you're interested, Fishing with the Chad, boom. So, yeah.
They watch you on Thursday nights right before Panfish Nation. If you get it just right, Docker will be in there.
I know.
Not a better person in the world to have as a partner. You got the best sidekick there is.
He definitely makes the show worth having. So I look forward to him
here
recovering and getting. There we go. Getting back to it. Lyle, would you believe we're approaching 1 year on the bait shop?
1 year on the bait shop, and where are you at on subscribers? I know you're.
Last I checked, we were 730 something.
So you're less than 300 away. Folks, if you haven't checked out Chad, go check out the bait shop over on YouTube. Watch some of his videos. Make a comment. Subscribe to him. Means the world to all of us to have these subscribers and likes. Him and old Dockery are pretty funny. It's not 100% fishing, but it's 100% entertainment. You will like it, I promise you.
We can guarantee you that we cannot guarantee what we will talk about because we never have a plan, and it might have a little bit to do about fishing, and it might have to do about God knows what. But we like to have fun, and that's what it's all about for us.
That's right, and that's what it means for all of us. Don't forget all the folks we talked about at the beginning of the show. that keep them in your thoughts and prayers. We want them to all feel better. Means a lot to us that you would do that. Chad will be on Debate Shop Thursday night, right before Panfish Nation. We got a great guest. Minnesota Living Outdoors is going to be on this week. That's going to be a great show. We'll have a lot of fun. BS on Thursday nights. That's correct.
That's right. The Bait Shop. BS. Yeah. That's our initials. The BS.
Oh, man. Mark is next with Catfish and Crappie. Be sure to tune in. He's going to have a great show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you next week.
See you guys.